we, as the intelligence community assesses, is happening in Gaza City.
So I want to show you guys one more clip, because for years, everyone has known in Israel and outside of Israel that Shifa Hospital, that beneath it, that's where Hamas headquarters are. That's where the network of tunnel is. That's likely where the hostages are right now. That's where their command and communication center is, the whole freaking thing. And of course, Andrea Mitchell earlier in the week pretended that wasn't true either. Here's the Pentagon admitting it finally, fully, publicly.
We do have information that Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad uses some hospitals in the Gaza Strip, including the Al-Shifa Hospital, as a way to conceal and support their military operations and hold hostages. They have tunnels underneath these hospitals. And so Hamas and PIJ members operate a command and control node from Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City. They have weapons stored there and are prepared to respond to an Israeli military operation against the facility. So I'm just telling you what we, as the intelligence community assesses, is happening in Gaza City, how Hamas is using these hospitals to operate. But absolutely, we do not want to see a firefight in a hospital where there are innocent civilians.
Mayor, there's a really bizarre moment there. So they admit something that basically everybody has known, and then she's like, oh, and Hamas is ready to defend it. Like, really? Are you guys talking to Hamas about what they're doing at that hospital?
I mean, I don't think Hamas is talking to anybody, but I will say this. I think a big mistake that's being made, and it goes back on what I was saying before. Hamas and the West talk different languages. To the West, a hospital is something that keeps people safe. To Hamas, a hospital is something that keeps them safe because they know that they can use the West's sensitivity to their own. They mock us for this. They laugh at us for this. They build 36 hospitals in Gaza, and I don't know if you've seen the size of Gaza, but it's not that big. 36 hospitals for what? It's Hamas speak a language of terrorism, and it is not the same language that the West speak. They cook babies, and if you can't imagine that, it's because you're not speaking the language. I think Israel is doing a very good job and trying very hard to act as an interpreter, to deal with Hamas on the level that they deserve to be dealt with, because this is not a hospital. This is an infrastructure that has been created under the pretense of a hospital, and to try and convey that in a way to the West, in a way that the West will understand it. But it's a struggle.
Ami, I give you the final word today.
Well, I find it really interesting, just from a zoomed out perspective, how obsessed the world is with the intricate details of every single step along the way that Israel has to defend itself. It does reveal this certain hyper fixation on this addiction, this fetish to scrutinize Israel and only Israel in defending itself. I mean, there are so many causes around the world, and it just always rubs me in this very curious way of like, it's amazing. Every military tactic that Israel's been implementing to defend itself gets scrutinized, and you have to ask yourself why. Why the one Jewish state that has to defend itself here? Why does it get subject to the scrutiny? And then you can have a discussion on what's legitimate criticism and what's not. But just to the extent that people are hyper fixating on every detail of the military campaign must beg the question of this double standard of why Israel gets this kind of attention, as opposed to any other conflicts around the world that don't get nearly as much. It makes the case for describing the anti-Zionism is certainly a mask for anti-Semitism. And I would just end on the idea that the one silver lining in all of this is that it's very hard to fight evil when it's obfuscated, when it's hidden behind fancy slogans and things like that. But now what we are seeing in the aftermath of October 7th is this gleeful, unapologetic celebration of Hamas's actions, of Hamas's aims, from the river to the sea. There is only one solution: intifada, revolution. To the extent that the masses even understand what that means, the point is, it's clear as day what the motives are. The genocide of Jews and the destruction of the Jewish state, the only Jewish state in the world. The only state in the world that's not allowed to defend itself is the Jewish one, apparently. And this is clear as day being broadcast and celebrated, and this is what these movements stand for. So it's easier to fight evil when you can see it clearly. And that's the one silver lining takeaway from all of this. If you had any illusions about what all of this was about, it's here right in front of us.